Hey, here I am, and there you are. I got to admit, for a last night live stream, I'm feeling much more prepared than I normally am. So anything could happen. Probably nothing good, though. Let's see who's here. Well, Josh Olive was first in the door. He was early. He was 6 minutes early. Right there it is. My timer says he came in at 10:29. Show started at 10:30. Well, it's 10:37 now, so a couple minutes late. But Josh was here early. He camped out, got his tickets early. Good for him, which is amazing since he didn't even know the show was going to be on. But he was planning ahead, and it worked out for him. That's excellent. Hyper Kaiju is here. Now, see, that's what I like to hear. That's the kind of support we need around here. This is quality entertainment programming just for you guys, and I'm glad that Hyper recognizes that. K Manifesto is here. Leg kick. Do I even need to say that anymore at this point? I mean, leg kick is at every show, all the time, every day, no matter what time of day, he's there. So, and he's here. JP Roca is here. Prater 7 is giving us the old, hey, what's up? And then follows that up with a question. Oh, I see. Because, see, there's a little, that little slanty thing there is supposed to be a question mark. So he corrected it. So he gets points for being a good editor. Hyper Kaiju is going to go grab some snacks. Excellent. Excellent. I didn't grab any, though. I'm not as prepared as I would have led you to believe. Actually, my mom is out of those shortbread cookies that I steal all the time for my last second snacks. And I didn't really have a go-to. I do have some dried cherries downstairs, which I really do like, but I'm not going to run downstairs and get them now. We'll just talk about them. Cherries. And if you take the dried cherries and then you put like chocolate chips with them and just, it's like chocolate covered cherries. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful. Let's see here. Oh, Johnny Fitz is joining us. Hey, Johnny, thank you. Come on, turn those frowns upside down. Let's have a smile. It's good times. Let's see. Yeah. Oops, sorry. See, I give you a little bit of kudos and then you just push it too far. Boo! What are you gonna do? Yeah, I like Marciano cherries. They're sweet, but I do like them. But the dried cherries I get are just a little bit tart, sweet, tart, just a nice little combination of both. But yeah, I'm a big I do like cherries. So all right, so Dean Morris says, how have you been, Aaron? I've been well, Dean. I got a lot of things going on, man. Just trying to juggle everything. I was on Ken Carson's show last night, which is a sketch show. And people, they comment in the comment section, say, oh, I want a sketch from Aaron of this, that, and the other thing. And I could only stay for an hour because I had a previous family commitment. So I did 2 of them, which let me share with you right now. One was a Planet Hulk. That's pretty groovy. And then a Two-Face, also fairly groovy. So those are the 2 I did on air, but I got 6 more. So I'm not going to do them all right now, but I am going to do a couple of them, and we'll kind of maybe spread those out over a couple shows to give me something actually to draw. I've got Wraith of God on the drawing table right now, page 1, just doing the layouts, working on the pencils. I'll be sharing that not today, but soon. Look at this. Jeff Potts dropping knowledge on us. Oregon is the biggest producer of sweet cherries. I didn't know that. Hyper Kaiju again. Ken Carson. Ken usually drops in here. What the heck's the name of that show? He brings. Oh, there he is. See Ken right there. Ken, plug your show. David Williams dropped in the middle of the show and started talking trash to me, tried to get me off my game. But so basically, this is like a UFC thing with me and David Williams. So he's talking trash. I'm bringing him back onto my show, Sunday show, for competitive drawing round 4 very soon. So we'll see. We'll see if David can live up to his talk. But Ken, plug your show. Oh my gosh! See. He's back. I'm in your head, boy. Oh, I'm prepared. You can't get in my head anymore, man. I am prepared. So anyway, so Ken, yeah, plug your show. There 4C Comics. Is that what the title of it is on like YouTube, whatever people or Facebook people looking for you? It's 4C Comics. Okay, so he like brings on guest artists. He had David Williams on this past weekend, and I guess David claims to have drawn for like 12 straight hours, which is remarkable. He did actually show me the work he did, and it was pretty impressive. So so he might have actually been on for 12 hours. I was just kind of a wimp and only did an hour, but like I said, it was, you know, I had some stuff going on and couldn't really make it work any longer. There you go, David. That's right. See, I can only sketch for an hour, so I made several masterpieces. Yeah, David. Yeah, they don't say it about you. They say it about me. There we go. Joe Bernardo, our Hawaiian friend from Vegas, is quick draw. That is right. Speedy. But I'd like to bring the quality too. K Manifesto. Wow, those are great. Thank you. Appreciate it. But also, you can't insult the host even if you're being funny and get away with it. Okay. Yeah, there's some truth into that. It's too much sugar, and then okay. So here we are. You're saying, Aaron, start drawing, but I say let's do this first. I saw someone on the internet complaining not too long ago that all these guys with YouTube channels, I guess myself included now, all they do is shill their products. That's what they have the YouTube channels for. And I say to that, duh. No, I try to go the extra mile actually, and not, of course I shill my products when I got it, but I'm here for entertainment value and a little shilling on the side. So I think it's a good mix, but we'll see. Anyway, of course, this came out this month. I don't know if you can still get that or not. My understanding is it's selling out everywhere. So anyway, you might want to pick that up. I did the cover, not the interiors. Rob Liefeld did the interiors, and he had a little script help because Rob abandoned the project. So, but it's a killer cover that I'm really proud of. So if you haven't got that, pick that up. Still don't know what this is, but it's Swedish, and I'll when I get more information, I'll let you know. Shadow Sentry alternate cover I did for Eric Nalitowski's Indiegogo project that is up and funding right now. You might want to check that out. Shadow Sentry. Of course, the Garbage Man trade paperback is available for pre-order right now if you haven't done that yet. Why is it so great? It's great because it's one of the best works I've ever done. I mean, the artwork in it is about as good as I've ever done. So I push it just for that reason. I think the story's really good, but you know, that's me. And there's 18 pages of new material because I had to take Batman out and put in my new super team to replace him. So it's worth getting, even if you have the floppies, even if you supported me 10 years ago when this came out from DC, this is still worth getting. It's the first time it's been collected, and probably the last. And it does have the new material and the debut of a new super team, which will play a role in the Loprestiverse going forward. So you want to check that out. Again, can pre-order that through Amazon or your local comic shop, published by Dark Horse. And my dog, of course, begins barking right at the start of the show. This is my, oh my gosh. Let me close the door. Okay. That only muffles it. But so this is my, I swear I'm going to kill that dog. Somebody must be delivering something. Shelly must have ordered something again. Okay, so this is my alternative cover for. Do you think you think I'd have like a pound or something going on down here? So anyway, maybe he'll just bark himself out. Do dogs do that? They barked so long and then they just collapse from fatigue. Anyway, this is my alternate cover for Graham Nolan's Alien Alamo, which is in demand right now on Indiegogo. He's done quite well with that, so you should check this out. His follow-up, well, not his follow-up, well, it's his follow-up project to the Chenu, but apparently they all tie in together. So in his little monster verse that he has going, so you want to check that out. And then, of course, there's this, The Wraith of God, which is my graphic novel coming soon to your hands, hopefully. Right now, it's on a pre-launch page on Indiegogo. The link is in the description here on YouTube. I do have links posted on my both my Facebook pages and my Instagram page and on my Twitter profile pages. So you can find the link very easily there if you're not watching on YouTube right now. And so you can go there, pre-sign up for this. So I have an email account of who's interested in the book, so I can bombard you with sales messages as soon as it goes live in about a month. And this is one of the alternate covers. This is my 70s retro kind of Marvel cover from, they were doing this about 1972-ish and did it for about a year. And I always kind of liked them. And so there you go. So I did this kind of, is my little retro look to give you guys some options. And I have a third one that's just been confirmed by a top name artist that I won't name yet till I get his artwork from him. But check this out. It was originally blue banner on top, and I've decided to go red banner. Blue banner, red banner. Blue banner, red banner. I also darkened the sky a little bit because I didn't think it was quite nighttimey enough looking. So anyway, so there you go. That's what Aaron's working on. And so I just wanted to plug all of that stuff. And also, let's not forget this, because we're getting super close to 1,000 subscribers, which it just unlocks all sorts of doors, apparently. We'll find out. But it's going to be a huge party when we hit 1,000, so let's push it through. And I have to issue a couple of apologies. One, apparently my show got cut off on Facebook on my last Sunday night show, where we were discussing album covers and album cover art. And Facebook alleged that I had breached some sort of copyright infringement by showing an ELO album cover. It was absurd. So, of course, I challenged it, and we'll see if it gets put back up. But the interesting thing about that show was it had the debut of my first documentary film. And if you didn't see that, you're going to want to see it. So go back and check that out. Some people have suggested that I post it as its own thing, and maybe I'll do that. But yeah, I'm only 35 years out of film school, and thought, hey, I'll make a little documentary. Anyway, it's very little, but you might want to check that out as well. Okay. Yeah, see, everybody, the red banner looks better. I think so too. I'm going red banner. My dogs are always hungry. Am I coming to Terrific Con? Since I don't know what that is, I'm going to say no. I think that's in Florida, probably, right? I only go where I'm invited. I mean, that may sound kind of old-fashioned, but so I am going to Kansas City in like a week and a half, and I'll be signing at Phoenix Comics on Friday, then the Saturday one-day show in Kansas City. And then I'm doing a free comic book day, which I guess is mid-August now. And I'm doing that at a store in Tennessee, which I can't remember the name. Eric David Laney's store in Tennessee. So but I'll pump that up a little bit more when it gets closer. When is Wraith launching? In about a month. I'm going to have the pre-launch page up for 30 days. So we're looking at, I've got to time it. I don't want to be out of town. So probably right when I get back from Free Comic Book Day, which is like mid-August. So probably like around the 15th or 16th of August or something, it's going to go live. And then of course the more whirlwind tour of me pumping the book every chance I get, will be happening. But so yeah, you got about 30 days, but I need you to sign up if you haven't on the email page so I can send out emails to everybody and let them know when it's coming. There you go. We send our dog to daycare periodically. He goes in hyper and comes out tired. It's a beautiful thing, man. Oh, look at that. Cosmic Times Kickstarter with a Phil Hester cover. How about that? I'll have to go look at that. All right. Enough of this. Let's get to work. Okay. See, just in this little bit of time, we got a new subscriber. Jay Lee subscribed. Thank you. Probably not that Jay Lee, but a Jay Lee. And so we're glad to have you. Thank you so much for doing that. Are you at Fan Expo Boston or NYCC? Now, I'm not. I've got no East Coast shows planned this year. Okay, I'm planning on attending Heroes Con next year in 2022, and we'll see, how things go beyond that. Like I said, when I go to the big shows like San Diego, and I mean, I got to go every year to San Diego because Terry Dotson and I share a booth there that we've had forever, and so they kind of got us. We can't skip a year or we'd lose the booth and we'd never be able to get back in. So, but other shows like New York, Chicago, things like that, those are pretty spendy shows to go to because they barely bring anybody out for that. It's all on you. And so, it depends how much money I want to spend and how much money I think I could possibly make at the show to sort of determine the value of going. Plus, I'll be working my butt off on Wraith of God all through the fall, which will take up most of my time because I want to get that done in a timely fashion and out to you guys as quickly as possible without compromising the quality. Okay. Let's see. All right. So believe it or not, I've actually got my camera ready and set up. So the first thing I have to do actually is a sketchbook. This, of course, is raw imagination. 20 years of sketches by me. Oh, wait a minute. By me. It's a hardcover. 64 pages of wondrous color illustrations. Look, there's a bunch of stuff in there right there. Look at all that color. And it's my last sketchbook that I'll ever do. So it's not my first, but it's going to be my last. And so these are limited edition, signed and numbered, 750 copies. I also do head sketches on the inside of these for an additional $20. So it's basically $45 plus $5 shipping to get a head sketch of your favorite character inside here. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Why do I look so dark all of a sudden? It's the middle of the day. I didn't turn on the extra lights because I didn't want to bleach out the drawing, but I look dark. I look dark and spooky. And I'm not dark and spooky. I'm very light and airy, actually. It is while I'm trying to push the book, Zane. It is. Oh, I mailed your stuff out, by the way. Oh, that's the last thing. Everybody's stuff from AaronCon has been mailed out. I've got 3 packages going to Europe over here that are finally packaged up, and they're going out today. And then I had one late poster because I was waiting for an address from Daniel Hughes. But Daniel, if you're watching, it's in the tube and it's going out today. So there's Joe throwing me another compliment. That's just too nice. I can't pass that up. There, I turned a little light on. So now we have kind of like this, split personality Aaron. The well lit and then the shadowy side. Okay. I will force my way onto Graham's 31 Days of Monsters fall, because that's my wheelhouse too. I love old monster movies. We could have a heck of a time talking about that stuff. Look at Rodney. Now Rodney got his poster, and I'm thrilled to death that it got there safely, because poster tubes, you never know if the post office is going to try to, run over it with their truck or whatever. But I owe Rodney an apology. I made fun of him on the Sunday show because he was saying, I can't find your broadcast on Facebook. And I said, come on, man, don't you know how to spell my name? It's right there. But it had been shut down by Facebook because of the ELO controversy. So I feel bad, Rodney. I do. And so there's my public apology to Rodney for teasing him for not being able to find the video when it wasn't actually on. So that's what I get for being a smart aleck. Pay the price. I find this shocking and hard to believe. I would never do that. And those of you who got original art from me know that nobody packs artwork better than I do, because I am a collector myself, and nothing drives me more batty than getting a comic book that hasn't been properly packaged and gets damaged, or especially an original piece of art. Holy crap. Well, Shelly bought it for me, but I've talked about this before. I have let me do this. Let me show you this. You can't really see it all that well, but I'm going to show you anyway. Okay, that page up there, past all the pop junk figures. Okay, that's a page from Marvel Premiere number 38 from like 1977-ish, 78-ish. And that's a Weird World story. And it's penciled by Plug, inked by Nino. Okay. Now I had that. I bought that on eBay, or Shelly bought it for me on eBay as a present. I asked the guy, right? Because it was in a frame, right? He was showing the picture of it in a frame. And I said, is that glass or plastic? Oh, it's plastic. Because I said, if it's glass, don't take the glass out of the frame before you mail it to me, because it'll break if you don't. No matter how well you pack it, it will break. Because the glass, all you need is just a little bit of pressure on that package and it'll crack the glass. So I told the guy, I said, is it plastic or glass? And he goes, it's plastic. I said, fine, okay, then you ship it as it is. Guess what it is? It's glass. So it shows up, and the whole thing is, the whole glass is shattered, right? And there's pieces of glass sticking in the artwork that I have to pick out. Okay. Now, there was no damage done to the art, except on one black area, there was like a scratch where the glass had scratched the black off. So I went back in, being a professional artist that I am, I went back in and touched up the black myself with some India ink. So basically now it's a Plug page inked by Alex Nino and me. So I think that actually makes it worth more. Probably not. But I did contact a couple art dealers. I said, hey, if I touch this up, am I screwing it up? And they said basically, hey, that's the original. That's the only one there is. It's not like someone can go and get a different one because you touched it up. So, I couldn't stand to have that scratch there. So I touched it up, and it was just in a black area. So it wasn't like I went in and refeathered stuff. So anyway, but that kind of stuff just annoys me. And of course I just tore into the guy for being such an imbecile, to mail not even know the difference between glass and plastic, first of all, and then secondly, to mail a piece of artwork, like that. It's just, so anyway, yeah, I feel your pain. I can't imagine someone sending an original art. Okay, how about this? So this guy, Seattle, years ago, when I was like just trying to break in, or still breaking, I was doing I think for Marvel, and somebody was looking through my pages and walked off accidentally. True story. Walked off with, like, I did this Wolverine Cable sample story, right? And he walked off with like the splash page from it. And luckily he had bought something else. And so I emailed him and said, dude, did you take my whatever? And he's like, oh my gosh, I've got it. I'm so sorry. I said, yeah, just send it back when you get a chance. That's cool. So you know what he did? He took this original piece of artwork, and granted, it was a sample page, no big deal, but He took the art, stuck it in a bubble wrap bag with no cardboard or anything, just stuck it in bubble wrap and mailed it to me. Obviously, when it got to me, it was mangled. I'm just like, seriously? So anyway. And we got a story here. Terry Austin told me that the splash page to X-Men 119 was colored and Storm's eyes put in. I don't doubt that. I do not doubt that for a minute. I bought an old back issue on eBay recently, and the book had no bag or board. It had tape on the cover to hold it in place inside the cardboard mailer. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just when I thought I can't hear anymore. Oh, Andy Smith has joined us. Thanks, Andy, for dropping in. Andy has a Indiegogo project, his First Man, Volume 2, I believe, something like that. It's the second story arc, anyway, of First Man that I believe is still at pre-launch stage, but about ready to launch for real on Indiegogo. So go there and check that out and sign up for his book as well. Okay, someone. Wait a minute, Hyper Potato, I think, is patting himself on the back. Oh, no, he's patting me on the back. That's better. I appreciate that. You pack the artwork extremely well. Mike W. Lynch on Twitter also packs top notch. He might actually beat your packing, or in competition time. No one beats my packing. I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to just move away from that comment. Let's see. All right, someone had, yeah, here we go. AJ Thompson, can you give him a slap for us? I'm going to assume that he's referring to all these imbeciles that can't pack their stuff well and have destroyed stuff that we've bought at some point. So let's send out a slap to all of these guys that have not learned how to package stuff properly. Now, if that's not what you were talking about, AJ, if there's someone else you wanted me to slap, then I'm sorry I missed that there. Look at that. Past Master Dan says, stupid never ceases to amaze me, and neither does my dog barking. It never ceases to amaze me. Somebody just walked in. What the heck is going on? Hold on 1 second. I'm on live right now. Hang on a second. All right, here's the story. A package just got delivered to the front door that I have to go take inside. So talk amongst yourself for about 30 seconds, and I'll be right back. You might need to go out too. Oh, was that longer than 30 seconds? I don't know. This is what happens when you live stream and no one else is home. Somebody delivered some groceries and I can't leave them sit out there on the porch. Okay. Okay. Dan Nelson. I don't know who Dan Nelson is, but if he knows how to pack art, he has my respect. What's this? I feel your pain, Aaron. Had a Bob Ross book come in the mail, express mail with "Don't bend on the box." Mailman crammed the book into my mailbox. I was ballistic and went out and chewed out the postmaster. You ought to. I had somebody, get a load of this. I didn't mean this stream to turn into stories of terror, but when I was in Florida, those of you maybe in the Florida area, Tampa Bay area, might know Yancey Street Comics. He told me a story. Steve, the owner there, told me a story where he had actually had somebody he had bought a comic online from somebody, right? And they have a mail slot in the door, right? Yeah. He said it was packed and everything, like cardboard and everything. And they jammed it in there and bent it and did all sorts of stuff to get it through the mail slot. And the thing was just mangled, even though it was packed really well. And it's like, you know, I don't mean to disparage postal workers, but Judas Priest, are you kidding me? When something's packed in cardboard like that and is stiff, probably that's because they don't want it bent. I don't know. I could go on all day like this. I got this. Joe, I got Joe worried, man. I have to admit, I have never anything I've shipped out. Now, granted, I'm not shipping this out, but I've never. These are rare incidences, but it's usually bad packing. But occasionally, the postal service gets a little crazy. Yeah, I know this is the thing about Amazon. They throw stuff in these huge boxes, and then they show up and they've been banged around, and by the time you get them, they're ripped to shreds half the time. So yeah, I'm very careful about what I order from Amazon too. It just ticks me off. Ticks me off. Tom Bipple wants to know how I'm doing. Well, I'm doing fine until I had to go get the groceries, but off the front porch. But no, I'm fine again. All right. Well, okay, but AJ, in all fairness, back then they just put them in like a paper sleeve, didn't they? The comics, and then just mail them off. So it was actually zero protection. So you kind of, I mean, those are the classic books you buy that have the subscription creases in them, right? That were folded in the middle like this. I actually have an Avengers 93, the Neil Adams issue with a subscription crease, and I've got to get a new one. So to replace that. Mike, I'm not even going to replay. I'm not going to put that up. I'm not going to. You're trying to cause trouble. Amen, brother. Amen. And then people give me crap for not reading my comics. I say, I read them. I just take care of them. Why can't you read them and take care of them? No, it's just a simple thing. Joe is like sweating bullets right now, man. Great order coming in from Amazon. Okay, all right. Seriously, we got to start. We got to get this drawing going here. I have to pick my daughter up at 12:30, so I can only go for about an hour and a half more. So I'd actually like to get some drawing done so I can feel relatively productive. Okay, now this is a really interesting request. This is like Carol Ferris from the 1960s, who I believe was like Green Lantern's Hal Jordan's like main squeeze or girlfriend or something from back then. I mean, I don't know. I had to look it up because I was not familiar. I'm not a big DC guy, even though I worked there 10 years. Let me hit this lamp off. Okay. So I saw the name Carol Ferris and I was like, well, what the heck is that? I looked it up and found out. So I kind of, I've got to draw her with kind of a 60s style hairdo. And so I pulled up a little reference off the old interweb to get kind of her 60s do going here. She has it's like really kind of gaudy, it's not pearls, it looks like actually a diamond necklace or something. So Hal Jordan must have been hanging with some rich chicks in the 60s. And in this panel I'm looking at, I don't know what issue it's from, but she says, Green Lantern, will you marry me? And then she's thinking in the thought balloon, there, I've said it. Now he's got to answer one way or another. So she was a very progressive character, asking Green Lantern to marry her. Maybe she was just tired of waiting for him. And it's funny, she's not. It's not like she's asking Hal Jordan. She's asking Green Lantern. So I assume if she wants to marry this guy, she knows who his secret identity is, but she's not like, Hal, will you marry me? No, she's Green Lantern, will you marry me? So maybe she didn't know who he was. And wouldn't that be interesting that she would be willing to marry the Green Lantern? If she didn't know who he was? Wow, that'd be more like an obsessive fan, wouldn't it? I definitely would not. I would be like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. You don't even know who I am. I mean, it's not like Green Lantern's mask hides a ton, but still, you know, he's a superhero, and he's got, killer powers and all that kind of stuff. But you still got to live with the guy for the rest of your life. You'd think she'd, want to know exactly who he was and what he did in his spare time, other than just, fly around with a bunch of blue guys. I mean, I don't know. So now I'm actually intrigued by this Carol Ferris character. I mean, what's her story? I'm sure some of you guys know, right? Oh, well, look at that. She became Star Sapphire. How about that? Andy knows what's down. Andy wants to come on the show to sketch with me. Andy, if I bring you on, you have to clean up your language. This is a PG show. All right, I'll drop Andy a link, and if he can keep his potty mouth under control, we'll be all right. Okay, so I guess I'm going to go to Facebook then and drop this in. Nothing like watching somebody type, is there? I mean, that's quality programming. Okay, let's see. All right, Andy, the link is in our private message, not the professionals one, but just the one between you and me. So drop on in and we'll make you part of the show. All right, Andy Smith on his way. Just like the old days at CrossGen, isn't it like that? Well, in a lot of ways, it is. Let's see here. Mike Miller, stirring the pot, as he always does. That's right. Andy the Salty Sailor. There he is. Andy, you're on.
What is up?
Welcome.
Oh, hold on. Because people like my beautiful face, so hold on.
There it is.
Hello.
You got those nice blue eyes. See, that kind of, you got that going.
They're piercing.
Yeah, aren't they?
Yeah.
I get strangely unsettled when I see them. Oh, you're drawing.
I gotta sneeze. I gotta sneeze. I just blew my teeth out. Oh God.
And people make fun of me for being old. I mean, come on now.
Ah, boy, that is embarrassing. Blew my teeth right out of my head.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's sad.
Right.
I'm gonna switch cameras.
Okay, so you're doing what? Power Girl? Is that what I'm to understand?
Yeah, it's for Jay Lee.
Actually, not
Jay
Lee, the artist.
Jay Lee. I've got to. I drew some of it yesterday, so now I got to do some inking. So, and I was going to do it live, and I was like, well, that'll suck because Aaron's getting so many viewers. I won't have any. So you come on and share the wealth. That's what it's all about, man. That's right. Share the wealth. It's like the old studio days. And I won't besmirch your channel with my vulgarities. I'll keep it clean. There you go. See, I appreciate. I knew I could count on you.
Hey,
Of course.
now, are you Bart Sears was telling me, and I know you've been pals with Bart for quite some time, but he was telling me about the growing boobs of Power Girl and how that was kind of like a thing at DC for the longest time to see who could draw them the biggest. Did you ever hear anything about that?
Well, I knew that from what I heard, Wally would just make them larger and larger. And I know when Bart was drawing Justice League Europe, he would
Right,
do that. And then
right.
Randy Elliott, or not Randy Elliott, Andy Helfer, the editor, would redraw them smaller. And I remember going into the office. Oh, it would piss Bart off. I remember going into the office with Bart, and he saw an original page, and they were drawn smaller. And when Andy took off out of the office, he got out his eraser. Bart did and redrew him before Randy got a hold of it.
Oh, that's funny. It's funny the crazy little things that comic artists do and try to get away with. It's like that classic. You of course know that giant size Kazar comic from like 1970, where the inker dropped the F-bomb in the bushes of the inks.
No,
You don't know that?
no, I never heard that.
No, there's the big it's like I think it's a Kazar X-Men reprint from when Kazar, crossed over into the X-Men.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring it up. See if I can find it. But it's like it's an oversized issue, and I can't remember why the guy was why the inker was ticked off. It was a Maurice Severin cover, but I can't remember who inked it.
So wait, this was done on the cover?
Yes.
Ooh, no, I never heard that.
Let me go see if I can find it here. No,
I thought Jack Kirby introduced Kazar into the X-Men.
Yeah, Kirby did. Yeah.
Yeah, but this wasn't that issue.
Well, I think they reprinted it in this is
right.
God, if I can find some, but they're not big enough. I don't think you can see it.
So it actually went to print that way?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
so the real question is the issue worth more because of it?
Not really, which is funny because I just think Kazar's not that popular. I
had every issue of the Kazar from the 80s when I was a kid, when Brett Anderson redid it.
Yes. That was actually pretty good stuff. Brent, I kind of liked Brent's stuff. It was good for for like barbarian type stuff. He had that kind of sort of loose, why am I getting an echo now?
I don't know.
Oh, because I got Facebook on. No? Did that go away?
Oh, yeah. Did it?
I don't know.
Do you still have it?
Hang on a second here. I can't do two things at once. All right.
If you still have it, I can try putting headphones on.
No, I think it was because I had the Facebook page up. All right, here it comes. This is pretty good size. We should be able to see this pretty clearly. Of course, now I have to push 6. That's the thing about StreamYard, man. You have to push like 6 buttons just to share an image. It's kind of a pain in the butt. All right, there it is. Okay, let me zoom in and see if I can.
I remember that cover.
Hey, look, can you see right on Zabu's back hind there, right by the tree? Where it's
here, I'll find a better image. Because Aaron, the website you can go to where you can find the actual whole book, right?
No.
Here, I'll find it. What's the title of the book? What's the title of the book?
It's just Kazar #1. But it's a king size edition. It just says Kazar, and then it's #1. It's like a one-shot reprint of like Daredevil and the X-Men issues that he appeared in.
All right, hold on.
I think if you just type in Kazar, maybe. Well, I'm sure you put Kazar 1 in, all the Kazars will come up.
I'll find it. I just don't want people, since I'm not drawing anything, might as well show my pretty face. I know how many people out there want to see my pretty face when I'm not drawing.
Yeah,
so
that's one of the questions I get asked the most. What does Andy Smith look like? He said, haven't you seen his live stream?
Oh, I know. And I like to take the old man specs off. I don't understand. My daughter's texting weird stuff. This is her first day off from her first part-time job. She starts her first part-time job, right? And they schedule her for 7 days straight.
They did the same thing to Samantha when she started working at the Bath and Body Works. It's like she worked like 5 or 6 days in a row for like 2 weeks, and then she didn't. They scheduled her again for like another 2.5 weeks. It was like, what? It's like they cram all their hours into 1 week and then they don't,
Yeah. I was like, I cannot believe she's working 7 days straight. And now she has a day off. And then the next couple of weeks, it looks pretty average, like typical work thing. All right, let's see. I found it. Let me see how good it looks. If it looks good, I'll share my screen. Oh darn! Look at that. It's in the bushes. Like
right
wow.
On his back, on Sabu's back. It's right there.
Yeah. Here, hold on. I'll share my screen in a sec. I just want to blow it up so when I finally share it, it's right there. I don't know, man. This kind of takes away from your wholesome channel by doing this. Just saying.
Well, this is more history than.
Okay. All right, I shared it. So if you want to pop it up.
Okay.
And then I'll just keep circling with my mouse right here.
Right there. Dropping it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to make out even at that size when I'm looking at the screen, but when I look at the screen of the screen share, it's hard to make out. But when I actually look at my screen, it's not. But, that's crazy. I never knew that. Now I want that book. But beyond that, I will say this. So you said that's a Marie Severin cover?
I'm pretty sure that's Marie Severin. I don't know who inked it, though.
I think it is. Dude, that is nice. She did a couple issues of Namor. Oh, yeah. Look at that Jack Kirby goodness right there.
Yep.
Damn it. I might have to get that book now.
I think Kazar used to be a Golden Age character for Marvel. And I think that's the first Silver Age appearances in that X-Men issue.
Yeah.
Kazar, whatever they called him. So, yeah. So I thought that that's a pretty interesting.
Well, I was going to say, so she did a couple issues of Namor after Buscema left. John Buscema left, and she did at least one of them because I just got it because I just loved it so much because she was trying to do like John Buscema in a way, right?
Yeah.
And one of the issues is inked by Joe Sinnott, and it is so nice seeing her inked by Sinnott like that.
And you said you can't remember what it was, or you?
No, it's an issue of Submariner.
Oh, Submariner. Okay, but you don't know which issue.
13, 14, maybe something like that.
I have to check that out. I do have a fairly healthy Submariner collection. I don't have them all, but I do have 1 through 10, and then various ones, throughout. I'll have to check that out. I was not aware of that.
Oh yeah, it has a great splash page that when you first look at it, if you didn't really know any better, you might go, oh, John Buscema, because she was really if you look at the faces and stuff, you can tell that she was like, oh, John just left the book. And who knows, back then they might even told her see if you can kind of ape them a little bit.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out. Someone said, AJ Tom says, Andy, don't put your head down. I don't have anti-glare screen.
You laugh at that? That's hurtful. AJ, I'll take that from him because he sent me a nice piece of fan art. He did a First Man. and I
Oh,
showed
did
it
he?
on
How
my
about
stream this morning. What's that?
I said, how about that, man? You got getting, like some of the readers out there, man, pumping your character. That's awesome.
Yeah, he did some nice fan art.
Now, when does your campaign go live? For reals.
Right now I'm looking at noon on Friday. I will do a live stream when I kick it off and stream for a couple hours and chat and do all that stuff. I got to send some messages out to some other streams I know of to see if I can get on them and then just start doing it. So
And that's the thing. Now that now then you got to start becoming a guest on everybody else's show.
yeah.
So
Well,
word out.
I was on one earlier today. Picked up a sale from it for the First Man Volume 1 on In Demand. So
Nice.
Yep, got to start getting the word out. Oh,
Yep.
You'll know soon enough.
I just started scheduling interviews and stuff to pump up Wraith of God, so I'll be all over the place as well as my own channel to get the word out as the indie comic
without giving anything away. How's your guest artist doing variant wise? Is it still going or?
Yeah, I just actually confirmed with him last night. So
oh, very cool.
I told him I got to have at least a pencil from you before I go live, so I can push the cover.
Oh yeah, I think if you just have pencils, you'll be solid with that.
Yeah, as I said, they didn't even have to be finished pencils. I said, but there has to be enough there that I can, promote it. So
oh yeah,
he's good for it, and plus I'm paying him, so
Oh, even better.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done a few free covers for people, but I quit doing it because I've had people pay me to do covers, and it's like, how do I take money from one guy doing the cover and then not from another guy? It doesn't seem cool. So I'm like, okay. So I have a discounted indie rate I do for cover art and stuff, and then so if someone wants me to do it, then I just and I wouldn't ask somebody to do it for free. I just don't think that's cool. I mean, I've had people ask me to do it for free. I'm not going to say names like, Art to Bear or anything, but, but I did it because, Art's a good friend and you like to help people out. And there's other people I've done them free for in the past, but I just quit doing it simply because, the first person that comes up to you and says, hey, will you do a cover for my project? Now I can pay you, this much. You go, okay, now you can't do it for free anymore because it wouldn't be fair to that guy. So, and plus it gets, when you do a free cover once in a while, it's, it's not that big a deal, but when they, when suddenly everybody's like, hey, can you do me a free cover? You can do me a free cover. You're like, dude, seriously, I can't. No, I can't.
Yeah.
So I give them the discount rate and I think that's fair.
No, it's totally fair. I mean, that's what Bart does with me for, the First Man cover. I paid him for it, but, he hooked me up.
Well, that's what I told this artist. I said, hey, I'll pay your rate. And I know he's not cheap, but, we'll see what he comes back with on, because I have no idea what his rate is. So I'm like kind of playing blindly, but I figure,
Oh, so he hasn't told you what he's going to charge you yet?
No.
Now, do you think after he does it, he might just be pulling a swerve with you and he'll come back and go, nah, don't worry about it?
Maybe, but I won't let him do that. I mean, he's going to get something for it, because
Right.
I have an expectation of what his cover rate might be, but it's so hard to tell because some guys are, guys that do a lot of covers, they have like ridiculous rates. And, it's like, I could call up Adam Hughes and get him to do a cover, but feel pretty confident it would probably cost me more than like $1,500 to get him to do a cover. I mean, his cover rate's I don't know what it is, but it can't be,
For Adam, I would think so because Adam would be delivering it fully colored. Is this guy coloring it too, or?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Oh, okay.
But see, I don't know. I know what my cover rate is, and I can tell you right now, it ain't
Right.
1,500 for pencils, inks, and colors.
Oh, yeah. No, I hear you.
But I'm sure there's guys. I mean, what does Finch get? Does he probably get like $3,000 or something for a cover? I mean, I have no idea.
What, for pencils and inks?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't think he gets that much.
I have no idea, honestly. But because I mean, some of these guys have got these ridiculous page rates that I could not believe when I found out.
Oh,
You
no,
know?
I hear you.
And so it's like, well, if they're paying these guys, $1,000 to draw a page, it's like, what are they paying them to do a cover? I don't know.
That's
And people
true.
don't really like to talk about their page rates, which is cool. I understand that, but it's like, if I'm hiring you to do it, you got to like kind of separate it and say, okay, I'm not I'm not just your buddy trying to figure out how much you make. And if you make more than I do, I'm actually a publisher hiring you to do this. So you got to tell me what your page rate is so I can pay you.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's just it. They don't have to say like, well, for, Marvel and DC, I get this X amount, but for
Right.
you, I'll do it for this. They can just tell you a rate. I mean, if somebody tells me a rate, like if I asked you and you told me a rate, I wouldn't be like, is that your Marvel and DC rate, Aaron? I would just go, okay. And then I'd see if that's something I can work with or not.
Right. You either do it or you don't, it's just like, that's what
Right.
he wants for it. Okay. And, but that's how I found out a couple guys page rates for inkers. Because when I did my Power Cubed thing for Dark Horse, my creator-owned book a while back, I had to hire Mark Morales.
Oh, right.
Have to hire him. He became available, and so I got him. He did one issue, and I was like, "Whoa, that dude, he does okay."
Oh, yeah.
So it's but again, I was like, even though it was a creator-owned book, I was like, if I want to get top guys to work on the book, you got to pay them. You can't expect them. Hey, we've been friends for 10 years. Do this for free. Yeah, no. That's how you end up with no friends.
Exactly. Plus, you figure, you want to pay them something that they're happy with because you don't want them to just crap it out either.
Right. That's the thing. It's like I'm getting you to do this cover because I think people will be interested in it because it's your art. So don't give me a piece of garbage. So here, I'll pay you what you'd normally get. So give me a cover that you'd give to Marvel or somebody.
Right.
And I think it'll be worth it. I mean, it's hard to gauge that stuff. It's funny that a lot of people complain about multiple covers, and yet when you do multiple covers, people buy them because they dig it. So I don't know who to believe when it comes to stuff like that,
Well, I think there's a fine line. I think if you do one or two, that's different from like, Marvel just putting out X-Men #1 with 26.
No, that's true. That's true.
And even and that's not really a fair comparison because that's Marvel or indie and stuff. But even still, I've seen campaigns that have 10, and I think that I'm just like, woof.
Well,
because you got to look at it like this: if you're a campaign and you throw out like 10 sketch covers or 10 variant covers, what if you only get orders for 2 for one of them?
Yeah, right.
You got to print it.
That's the other thing, right? You have to, and I think if you're going to do that, you really have to bring it. You have to make sure that the covers are like really high quality, and not just throw out a bunch of, I got 10 covers and half of them are garbage.
Right.
So I was going to actually, my plan was to do 3 covers originally. I was going to do one. I was going to get these other 2 guys to do covers, but then I got that idea to do that retro cover, and I'm like, I'm doing this myself, and everybody seems to like that cover a lot. So I guess it was a good move.
I had an idea for a retro cover, but what I was going to do was I was going to find a cover layout that I really loved,
right,
from back in the 70s or whatever, and I was just going to copy it dead nuts.
Oh, really? And just change the characters?
Yep. Kind of like, kind of like when Byrne would do, and obviously this isn't changing characters, but when Byrne would do, how many multiple times did he do Fantastic Four #1?
Right.
You know, as a cover for a different for well, he did it for Fantastic Four, but
Hmm.
his style. And yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing. I mean, honestly, if I did it, there's a couple great Jim Starlin Captain Marvel covers that would work wonderfully with First Man and Monarch.
Right. Well, I've done a few for actually by, let me, I finished mine. Let me pump it up here on the screen so everybody can see it. Then I'll
Yeah,
get back
you did.
to little
Damn
screen.
you. You did nail that 60s goodness. And you know what? The hair is very taupey.
There you go. That's it, man, right there. Carol Ferris asking a Green Lantern to marry her. I don't know what's up with that. Like I said earlier, I gotta have to do a little more investigation into that. Do you know anything about that?
That's got to be from a Silver Age book drawn by Gil Kane, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, I am. As soon as you said that before I came on, I just got the showcase. I just got showcase #3 of Green Lantern to complete the
Yeah,
set. So I've
yeah,
got the 1 through 5 now, and
yeah.
I believe that issue is in that because I swear I just read that because it rung such a bell when you said that she was like, will you marry me and stuff. So do you know what issue number that is?
No, it's just a panel I picked up out of the off the internet when I was looked up Carol Ferris 60s, 1960s, and it was just one of the
Okay.
panel that was in there. I mean, I suppose I could track it down, but I was like
Oh
right
no.
before the show started, so I grabbed it and I was like, didn't really pay much attention. And I was reading it, going, "What the heck is going on here?"
Yeah, it rings a bell. Can you tell if it's Gil Kane inks or is it
It
Sid
like
Green?
it looks like Kane to me, because I don't know who
Man,
else would have been working on it.
I really think I just read that issue. Huh?
I don't know who else would have been working on it. It wouldn't have been Murphy Anderson or anything, would it?
Murphy inked a few issues. Sid Green inked a ton of issues, and not very well. Joe Giella inked some great stuff over Gil and Green Lantern. Wally Wood inked 1 issue, which is really nice.
Well, it's not Wood. It looks like it could be Murphy Anderson inks.
It might be Murphy Anderson because later in the story, if it's the one I'm thinking of, I think she actually does turn into Star Sapphire.
Well, yeah, that's yes. Like she's just like wearing it's just like a close-up panel. That's the thing. There's nothing else. It doesn't even have all the dialogue. I just thought, God, it's so funny. Green Lantern, marry me, and it's like, does she even know who
Well,
this is?
I could say if you want, you could share the screen and I could tell you.
Well,
But
okay.
you don't have to.
No, I'm going to
Huh?
do it. I'll do it. I don't know if there's enough here though to give it away, but there you go. There it is.
Um that that's way early in the Green Lantern stuff for sure. That's
Yep.
before issue 30, I believe. Before issue 40. That looks like Joe Giella inks, not Murphy Anderson.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because Giella, I like Joe Giella's inks because he would take stuff and really solidify blacks more.
Hmm.
So like in
Okay.
her hair and stuff.
Right.
And the way the lips are done, it's definitely not Gil Kane inking himself.
No. So
But
there it
yeah,
is.
I'm going to say it's Joe Giella.
Well, I will defer to you because you know that DC Silver Age stuff way better than I do. I was
Well, the
not.
funny thing is, so that Green Lantern, Marvel and DC both, I think, made big mistakes when they canceled the Showcase line and they
Yeah.
canceled the Essential line of the black and white books. And so the Green Lantern, I only needed #3. And of course, go figure, if you Google search for it or Amazon and stuff, Showcase #3 for some reason is like the most expensive one. So I ended up paying brand new, it's like $17. I ended up paying like $35 for it.
That's nothing. Of course, you probably got a
No,
copy that it was beat up, right?
No, it's not that beat up. It came out. It's nice.
Yeah, here we have some. Past Master Dan says Betty Brant had the best do.
Oh,
So
Betty Brant. Peter Parker giving up, not going for Betty Brant.
well, I always got the feeling she felt like she was like too old for him. I know she wasn't supposed to be, but she had to have been. If he was still in high school and she was already working at the Daily Bugle, she had to be like
20.
yeah. So it's like, I assume she's not 21 because then she would be robbing the cradle, right? Because he was, we don't know. Do we know how old Peter Parker was in issue number 1? Was he like a senior? We don't really know, do we?
I would have to say he was at least 16. I can't
Right.
imagine him
If
being
he's
under
like,
16.
yeah, but if he's 16 and she's like 20 or something, what's going on there?
Yeah, that's true. That's
All
true.
right, I'm drawing Thor Frog next, if you can believe that.
Get out of here. Hey, did I actually see that you're watching Loki?
I am.
I didn't think you had Disney Plus.
Oh no! Well, Shelly ended up getting it because my mom watches a lot of the Disney stuff, and so then and Samantha wanted it, and so Shelly signed up for it, and now it's like now I'm like watching it.
So here's the question: have you watched any of the other Marvel shows?
Yeah, I watched
Loki?
them all. I watched them all.
What you think of WandaVision?
I wasn't going to watch it because I had like zero interest in it, and then I started watching it, and it was so like bizarre. I was like, I kept going back to figure out what the heck was going on.
Yeah, it kind of sucked you in.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that the ending was didn't make a lot of sense to me. It's kind of like, why did wouldn't she have the power to keep creating the Vision even outside the bubble? It's kind of like you have to go away just because there's things like that I'm kind of like, you don't want to think about it too much, but I did find it very interesting, and it was kind of fun trying to figure out what the heck was going on. They did a nice job of sort of stringing you along, and Loki's that same way. It's like, where is this going?
Yeah. Well, my first thought with WandaVision was, okay, first episode, got it. Dick Van Dyke, cool. Second episode, all right, got it, cool. And then I'm like, look, guys, you got to dump out of this TV show stuff because I'm getting bored. I need to see some what's going on.
Yeah, they almost pushed that too far, but they got out just in time there because I was the same way. I was like, all right, it's cute. The novelty of it is kind of fun, but you're really not giving me enough information to keep me into this. Now look at this.
Yeah.
Hyper Kaiju says, my wife listens to the oldies station and it's shocking how many songs sing about 16-year-old girls. Yeah, but the idea is those guys wrote those songs when they were 16, I think. They didn't get to record them until they're in their 20s, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what did you think of Falcon Winter Soldier?
I liked it. Okay. I like Anthony Mackie, and I like the other dude too. I thought it was. I don't like the idea of Captain America Falcon. It's kind of like David Williams had a really good idea. He's like, because we were talking about this, and he's like, why make him Captain America with wings? Why not make him like a new character like American Eagle or something? Why does he have to become Captain America to like validate himself? Like he wasn't good enough as the Falcon. So why can't he be a new character? And that sort of made sense to me too. I was kind of like, but that was in the comics as well, so it's kind of hard to criticize the show.
And that first appearance obviously shot up, and I was like, whew, I bought it without even knowing that would happen. So yay me.
Isn't it nice sometimes when you guess right?
Yep. Well, the funny thing is, so with WandaVision, the first appearance of White Vision on that John Byrne West Coast Avengers went, basically skyrocketed from 3 years ago being $1 a book to, $40 now or something. And I was like, damn, I thought I had that. And then I'm looking at my spin rack and I'm like, oh, there it is. All bent to crap on my spin rack because, when I put it there, it was worth $1.
Right, exactly, because you don't think about it.
Yep.
Well, I shouldn't say this, but because it goes totally and antithetical to my my comic collecting instincts. But you know when DC or Marvel used to send out all their comps, right?
Oh yeah.
And I got to a point where I didn't have time to read all of them, and all of them I didn't necessarily care all that much about.
Yep.
And so I didn't know what to do with the books. Someone said, donate them to a children's hospital or something. But a lot of the content was not suitable for young kids, and I didn't want to, give them stuff that.
Oh right.
Where the heck did you get this? And so. Yeah, I don't like that. So I would start recycling them. Just throw them in the recycle. And
Oh my God, I was going to say you should have. You could have. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of the place, but there's places you can find that'll mail stuff like that to the troops overseas.
Oh, really? Yeah. See, that would have been a better idea. But here's the tragic things. I took the Batman, the new 52 Batman.
Oh no, the one that's worth money now.
Yeah, and tossed it. And I was like, I should have hung on to that. What was I thinking?
Well, who would have known? I mean, I bought it when it came out because I like Capullo's work. And I bought like the first story arc. And obviously I still have it. And I'm glad I did. But when I first saw it on the back wall at a convention, I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, it went up to $60, like just like that. And I think it's like at 100 and something now.
Wow.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't either. It was just one of those books, I think, that it went into a second printing and stuff. And so therefore it got hot. But since the new 52 sort of ended, it's kind of like, does it really have any sort of long-term interest or value? I think it's sort of just, it's stuck at whatever it's at right now. I don't think we're going to see it like go anywhere, rise or fall, because there's no reason to, because that series doesn't even exist anymore.
Right. Now here's an interesting question. Without well, you haven't seen Black Widow yet, right?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I went and saw it on Saturday.
Do you care about talking spoilers on your channel or no?
Well, we better not, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have not seen it yet. And there's nothing worse than an angry fan who's had a film ruined because of guys discussing spoilers.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of it overall?
I liked it. I thought the use of Red Guardian was not as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
And I was a little disappointed in the use of the Taskmaster, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
although in a way it was kind of clever, but in another way it was kind of, come on.
No, I don't think it was clever. Did you, this isn't a spoiler, so I don't mind asking. In the prison scene when he was arm wrestling?
Yes.
The big guy who he broke his wrist?
Yep.
You know who that was?
No.
Ursa Major.
What is that? Ursa Major. Help me out. What is that?
He's part of the what's the Russian team Marvel has that the Red Guardian's part of, and the Big Bear, because I think the Big Bear. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Go to IMDb, and next to the actor's name for the character he played, it says Ursa.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, nice little what do you call it? Easter egg there.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. We were talking about it on our show last night, Dennis and I, and Dennis is like, really? And he's like, see, that's just a waste. They should have named him. And I was like, well, I mean, that's why it's an Easter egg, because they didn't, and so it didn't really bother me.
Well, you get
name them.
You get the sense though that they're probably going to do more with Red Guardian at some point. I mean, because he was pretty funny. They didn't. Although I don't know, you can't like do a Red Guardian movie. I mean, who the heck, but you could use him in other
No,
things.
don't you think they kind of played him like just a big dumb guy
Yeah.
a little too much?
Yeah, that's why I said they didn't really,
Yeah.
they could have, yeah, well, anyway. Let's see if the chat is blowing up that we're talking about this. Here's a question. How about this? Well, whenever I get a question, I have to do this. Says Aaron Lepresti, how do writers get paid? Page rate, flat rate for script, regardless of length? Does a Marvel style plot pay the same as a full script? Those are interesting questions. They get paid by the page mostly, but I would have guessed there's probably some writers who have sweeter deals than that. But for the most part, they get a page rate, whatever that may be. And now does a Marvel style plot pay the same as? Yes, because they'll come back in and do the dialogue after you've done the pencils. So they're essentially writing the same amount. We have to, as artists, have to do a little bit more thinking when we get a Marvel style script. And by that, he means just plot. I mean, for example, when I was working on Damage for DC, we did all those new what were they called? New Universe? What were they? Not New Universe. The DC universe.
Yeah.
Because Damage was one of those, and they were like this new line of new characters, right? And so all that, from my understanding, I didn't look at anybody else's script. But after talking to Dan DiDio, it was my understanding that everybody was doing Marvel style scripts because Dan wanted them to be sort of more art driven, which I thought was cool. And so,
wait, who wrote Damage when you were doing it? Was that Vendetti or?
Oh gosh, I knew you were going to do that to me. Somebody help me out. Who was writing Damage? I know him, and it just ticks me off that when their names just like zip out of my head.
Now I'm just curious because so when you were doing the Damage, they wrote that plot style?
Yes. And
wow.
But he doesn't normally write plot style because I worked with him on the Justice League stuff too. And
oh God, now I'm trying to think.
Vendetti.
Are you talking Justice League International?
No. That was Dan Jurgens. The Justice League stuff I recently did before they cleared house at DC.
Right.
I was
I can't remember it either.
Oh, Venditti, Robert Venditti.
It was Venditti. Okay.
Yeah. And he was writing Marvel style, but the interesting thing was he would write all the main stuff that was going on, but then he would just like, okay, Aaron, 10 pages of fight scene or 8 pages of fight scene. And so I choreographed all the fight scenes for that book, it was just kind of like they start here, make sure you get them here at the end. Yeah. And then I did whatever I wanted, which was really a lot of fun. And it took more time because I had to think it out. But like when he fought Superman, that was great because he was fighting the Justice League and then Superman showed up and I don't know. I think I had an 8-page fight scene that I had to choreograph the whole thing.
Oh,
and
cool.
That was a blast because you're trying to come up with like creative ways for, I remember Superman picked him up, flew way up in the sky, right. And then threw him down. And then he of course he cratered in the earth when he hit. And then Superman comes flying down sort of like to finish him off. But then Damage takes a handful of like earth on both sides of him and rips up, the earth on both sides of him and sandwiches Superman in between it when Superman's coming down to punch him, so he just slams 2 big symbols or something and crushes him in between it, doing stuff like that was just like a blast.
That's cool.
So, and then I had, I wanted Deadman to show up and I didn't know how he was going to use him, but I'm just like, dude, bring in Deadman. So he did. And so I got to draw Deadman. And I also I wanted to use the Spectre. And Robert came with a great idea to use the Spectre, and they just sort of they were like, nah. And Bob Harris poo-pooed it, and I was like, but it was a really good idea. Or I don't know, maybe Dan did, but it was a really good idea because he was going to take take Spectre and Spectre was, would go and like judge people on Earth, right, for their actions or something like that. It was kind of a shtick for a while there. And so he was judging these actions by damage, but he ended up, when he went and got him, damage was, he turned back to his human form. So now you got the Spectre trying to judge this guy who really wasn't responsible for what damage did, kind of like Bruce Banner and the Hulk, right? And I thought, man, that's really kind of a clever, so how's the Spectre going to handle this and all the kind of stuff? But they wouldn't let us do it. So
those sons of bees. How were the plots?
How
were his plots?
Oh, they were good. I mean, they were very action oriented. Everything was very Marvel, kind of old school action oriented. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. So it wasn't, there was some character scenes and things like that. But most of it was just setting up for a big action sequence. Cause I had him he fought the Justice League. Actually, the very first thing I did was an annual, and he fought the, was it the Suicide Squad? No, the Doom Patrol. No, it was a collection of, who's the guy in the bandages and the overcoat?
Oh,
is he Doom Patrol?
That's Doom Patrol, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there was Doom Patrol characters, but there was some other characters mixed in with them. So I don't really remember now, but so I don't think it was pure Doom Patrol, but there was like different characters, I think, from the different, from a couple different groups. But anyway, so we fought those guys. Then it was, then I did this, well, that was like a fill-in issue. I take it back. I did an annual first where they're doing these experiments on these soldiers and turning them into these giant monsters. So it was like Damage fought these other giant monsters for an entire annual. And it's like,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then, and that was all Marvel style. So I had to kind of figure out the fight scenes in that too, which was fun. And then I did the one fill-in issue, which was like kind of wrapping up the story arc before mine. And then
because Tony Daniels started that, right?
He only did 3 issues though and bailed. And then they
really?
Then they hired some other guy who was a foreign artist, and they were having really sort of communication issues with him understanding how to work Marvel style and stuff. And so it wasn't working out. And so that's when they brought me in. And I was kind of ticked because I was like, well, if you'd brought me in at the very beginning of this series, just to launch this thing, then we wouldn't be having this problem right now, would we? But so anyway,
Aaron, nobody likes that attitude. Okay,
I know
nobody likes that.
No,
just
it's
Negative Man, by the way. JP Roca for the win. Negative Man in the bandages.
Oh yeah, who got? Oh yeah, there he is. JP Roca called it. We'll give him a little credit right there. But yeah, so anyway, so I went from that to them fighting the Justice League. Let me give JP a round of applause here, though.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So wait, how many issues of Damage did you do?
It's a good question. I did 9 through, I want to say 13 or no. It was 17 because it was 9, 10, 11, and Batman showed up. So we fought Batman after the Justice League. So I think there was 2 issues of Justice League, then Batman. So I think it was 4 issues. And then he was on Monster Island, and we brought back Congo Bill and who was the big monkey that he turned into? Bill.
I don't remember. I know who Congo Bill is, but I can't remember that.
Anyway, so he was on Monster Island with a bunch of other monsters again, and so that was fun. And I did a Fing Fang Foom ripoff in there. I want to say like 8 or 9 issues. I think I did.
Oh wow!
Because I think they canceled at about 17, and I started off on I think 9 or 10. No, I think I did 9, 10, 11. And I think 13 was Batman. That sticks out in my mind. And I think there was something that was 14, 15. Maybe we only went through 6. It was either 16 or 17. So 9 through 16 or 17. So like, 8. Yeah, like 8 issues, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
But it was already plummeting, when I came on, and they're like, Aaron, save this book. I'm like, that's what kind of ticked me off. It was like, well, now I get blamed for this book I didn't get blamed for it being canceled, but still, you kind of feel that way. You're like, if you'd put me on this from the very beginning, maybe you wouldn't have to switch artists 3 times.
When they said, Aaron, save this book, you should have said, now I know I'm powerful, but I don't have the powers of God. So
even I.
Oh, it's What did he change into Congorilla? Is that
yes,
it?
That's it. Congorilla, that's it.
Leave that down to AJ Tom in the chat for Congorilla.
Look at that. Yep, AJ Tom was the first one to get it in there, followed up by Sequential Artist and Hyper Potato. So AJ gets a round of applause, man. Nice work helping out us. Helping out us old guys try to remember.
That's right. Well, we're drawing and trying to remember stuff like that. That's a lot of pressure. Just saying. Now,
Scott comes in and says, Aaron, his feathers on Thor Frog's helmet are too big. You know what? You don't come on my show and tell me how to draw unless you expect to get some of this. So there you go, Scott. That's your reward for coming after me.
Man, you're getting the feathers are too big, and I got comments yesterday drawing this cover that her rack wasn't big enough.
Oh my goodness. People, they're never satisfied, are they?
Never
Always
satisfied.
something.
But Jay Lee gets to see it come to life in front of his eyes. And I don't know if you've noticed, I'm inking with a real brush here, by the way. No offense, Aaron, but none of this marker stuff you're doing.
Well, you know what I found out, or I shouldn't say found out, but came to realize was that it doesn't matter what you use as long as you get the job done. I was very much a brush snob for the longest time because anybody who uses a brush knows that it's way more difficult to master a brush than it is a pen.
Yep.
And because a pen, of course, is like using a pencil, which we all are very familiar with because we do it all the time. But getting that brush to do what you want it to do, that's a whole nother ball game. And especially if you have, if you want to exercise a lot of control with that brush, it's difficult and tough to learn. So I was very much a brush snob. But then when you start looking at, well, what does it look like when it's done? Can you really tell the difference all that much? And also, I have a very, old-fashioned style in a lot of ways, and inking it with a brush makes it even more so. So I was like, I need to get more of a pen look to kind of take my old school approach and kind of modernize it a bit. So I've been kind of going in that direction, and been happy with it.
Well,
it's fun.
I do. So I ink with a brush. I went back to inking with a brush just because I'm faster, even than with a brush pen.
Really?
And I just like the feel and the line work I can get.
Right.
But interior rendering, like when I'm done doing the brush work on this, I'll do all the interior rendering with a pen, because for the same reason, if I do it with a brush, it gives it more of an old school look because I come from the Joe Sinnott type of school of inking and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if I ink it with a pen, it definitely does give it a more illustrative, newer type look. So I'll be using pen on this.
Yeah. Well,
I just like outlining with the brush.
Frank Cho uses pens, but he uses pens to try and create a style that looks like it was used with a brush, which I think is really funny.
Well, not really. He pretty much says he outlines with a 08. So he'll outline his drawings with a 08, a fat one, and then he uses, I think he said a 01 for everything else.
Right, but he he was telling me this is years ago.
Oh.
that he wanted to, he just doesn't ink with a brush, and he loves that look. And so that's why you get these kind of thick outlines and stuff that he does on his characters. So, I mean, if you look at his stuff, it kind of looks like it was inked with a brush. He doesn't do like a lot of line work or anything. It's very sort of clean and open style, but it's very bold because he kind of likes that brush feel, but he does it with a pen. And then, I go the other direction where I'm kind of like, oh, I kind of want to get more of a pen look, So even when I'm inking with a brush, I try to ink and get a little bit more angular with it, and to get more of a pen look. Now, you're familiar with Jonathan Glapian's work, right?
Oh, yeah.
That dude inks with a brush.
Wow.
But it all looks like he did it with a pen, because he inked one issue of my Metamorpho miniseries. And I was like, dude, this is some really cool stuff. And I said something about pen. He goes, oh, I'm all brush. And I went, oh my gosh, now you really have my respect. Because if you can emulate a pen brush, that's
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And I'm a big fan of Danny Mickey, obviously. I love his stuff, and Norm Rapman as well. And those guys are, big time pen inkers, but I love that sort of kind of rough edged, chunky style that that Danny Mickey brings, or can bring. I mean, he's very versatile, obviously. But whenever he inks me, I always go, dude, do that pen stuff.
Yep. No, I like Danny's stuff. He's a guy I've always wanted to work with.
Oh, I mean, if you want like a cool contemporary look to your work, he can bring it. And that's what I said. I go, just ignore what you're seeing in the pencils in terms of stylistically, because you look at my pencils and you want to ink them with a brush. And I'm like,
right,
just go counterintuitive and do your pen stuff to the nth degree on it. And it looks really, really cool, because you still get your drawing, but at the same time, you get that sort of, newer.
Hold on, I'll turn my mic off. See who the hell's calling me.
All righty. So I will go back to talking to myself, which I normally do. See, Mike's like, I can emulate a pen with a brush. Well, okay, Mike, then do it on your next drawn and quartered. Prove it. I want to see it. What's this? Now, Aaron, was damage loosely based on a real life person? I heard rumors. Don't want to ask if it's not true. I don't know. That I have no clue, because I wasn't in on the development of the character at all. Robert might know or would know, because he was, but I don't know if he based that on somebody or not.
What's that? I'm back.
Oh, you're back? Someone asked me that they had heard that the damage was based on a real life person. And
oh, really?
Yeah, but I have no knowledge of that at all. But I developed the character. I came in after the fact. So this pen has had it. It's going in the trash. So I don't really know the answer to that. That's interesting.
So this is weird. So my home phone, which you might have heard briefly, rang once, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I silenced the ringer on it, because, I mean, it only rings 3 times anyhow, and then I have it set to go to voicemail. We never answer the home phone. It's just,
right.
People are like, we have a home phone because it's part of a bundle. It just saves us money. Whatever. We never answer it.
Yep.
Anyhow. So then my cell phone rings and I see it's the same number, and I'm like, what the hell? So that, I answer it. This is a first. It's some guy, and he's like, yeah, we're calling, and he says, do you live on whatever street? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, we'd like to make a cash offer on your house if you're interested. I said, nope.
Shelly just got one the other day from somebody.
Same thing?
Yeah. Want to know if
really?
they're selling our house.
Wow.
It's a hot market right now, man.
I guess so.
Although I don't trust those people when they come in and we'll give you cash. I'm like, for about $100,000 less than it's worth, probably, or more.
No, that's not actually like the house next door to us.
Well, you said that. I heard that.
Yeah.
You also said the guy paid him too much, like a dummy, and had to sit on the house for a while, right?
Yeah, but then I was talking to a real estate agent in that company. I mean, I don't mind saying the company. It's Open Door is the
Mhm.
name of the company. If anybody listening is familiar with them. Open Door is a company that, it's that no fuss, no muss. We'll buy your house. You don't have to put it up, blah, blah, blah. So they paid my neighbors a really good price for their house, and then they put it up for sale, but they priced it too high. So it's been on the market for 4 months when houses in my neighborhood generally sell within 1 day, priced right.
Right.
So anyhow, now it's priced where it belongs, going by Zillow, but it's been on the market for so long. But then I was talking to somebody and they were saying that Open Door is actually known for doing that because what they want to do is eventually they'll price it high, knock it down. And if nobody buys it, then they'll just rent it out. And they're perfectly content with renting it for years because then they still own it. They make money back. And then, the market, it keeps going up and then they sell it and make money that way.
Well, that
Which
makes sense
there's hell
too.
are like, oh, I don't want a renter next to me.
Oh my gosh.
Speak up. I do not want a renter living next to me.
Well, and yeah, Shelley has brought up the fact that, oh, we should get a rental or whatever. Like, I do not want to be a landlord. There's no freaking way. Because then you got so much
So
crap.
actually, I was a landlord for 7 years, 8 years.
Really?
If you now we only had two tenants the whole time, and we never really had major problems. But if we continued with it, and the reason we didn't continue is because the market was so good, we knew it was like, now it's time to sell the house.
Right.
Right. So we sold it and, it worked out, whatever.
Are you talking about your
But if
Florida
you,
house?
no, the first one we bought up here
Oh,
when we
okay.
moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
So the thing is, if you're a renter, but or if you're a landlord, but you use a rental company to manage it, it's really not that bad because the rental company takes like 10% of whatever the rent is, and they handle everything.
Well, now that I'd be on board with if I didn't have to do
Yeah.
anything.
No, they handle it all. If the rent's late, they'll go bust heads. You don't have to do crap.
Oh, well, see, that's not a bad idea then.
Yeah.
Because you get to avoid your Social Security tax with that renter's income, which is nice. But I just wouldn't want the responsibility of having to landlord and stove doesn't work. Great, Or if you get like crappy.
Yeah, I mean, the house we rented out was built in 05 when we moved here. We had it built. It was a Ryland thing. So nothing really broke.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm just more of a hassle-free kind of guy. If I can avoid hassles, I do it.
No, I hear you.
Makes sense because I'm self-publishing now, right? Which is one big hassle.
I was about to say, well, things are going to change.
Oh man. Well, we got to go where the market allows us to go, right? So.
Oh, that's right. AJ Tom says, Aaron, you should rent out your garage to the Fonz. See, the funny thing, now I don't know what your garage doesn't have anything above it, does it? Or
no, doesn't.
Now, see, AJ, the funny thing is you should be saying that to me because I am above my garage. And if it had plumbing, I could rent this out as an apartment. It just doesn't have plumbing.
Speaking of that, I would really, really, really like to have a sink up here in this studio space I have because this is a converted bedroom up here, and then we knocked out the back wall because we had this really, when you walked in the front, we had like this elevated ceiling that was like 15 feet high, and in the living room, and then it was just for the living room, and then there was like a wall there where the upstairs bedroom stopped. And so we just knocked that wall out and pushed this room all the way to the front of the house. So now the when you walk in the house, the living room there on the left hand side has a regular 8-foot, 9-foot ceiling, like the rest of the house. And I have this double-sized studio up here, but it was a bedroom converted into this studio, so there's no plumbing in it. But man, I would love to have a utility sink in here. But the cost of adding that,
plumbing, dude, the cost of adding plumbing to this garage, forget about it. Yeah.
Plumbing is the most expensive thing. We had electrical and all that stuff in here, and no big deal. But if I can't remember what is off the top of my head, but I remember them quoting us on plumbing. I was like, forget it. Not paying that. So now I have to run to one of the bathrooms down the hall to wash my brush out.
AJ Tom says, if you've got an open window, Andy, you're good. I've got 4 big windows in this place. No, my office is above a 2-car garage, but no, I remember it was like $9,000 to add plumbing. And I was like, nope, not doing it.
I know. You're like, are you kidding me?
Nope.
Well, I got big windows because they were in the front of the house, right? Initially at the end of my studio over here, but I keep them covered because it gets too hot up here.
Oh, I've got originally I had a space heater in the winter, a room heater, and I had an window AC unit.
Oh yeah.
And then 3 years ago, I just paid them money and got one of those mini splits, ductless units that blows, heat and air. Oh my God, best money I ever spent for that.
Dude, you know what I realized living in Florida was, because you had a 2-story, didn't you?
Nope.
Oh, you just had a 1-story house in Florida?
Yep.
We had the one room that upstairs was just one room. It was like the bonus room, which I used as my studio, but it had a separate AC unit built in.
Oh, right.
Upstairs, right? So it kept that cool. And I was like, now granted, Oregon doesn't necessarily get that hot that often, but it's almost like no matter where you live, you're going to have some really uncomfortable hot days. And every house should have an extra AC unit upstairs, because it never pumps it upstairs worth a darn,
Right.
And so even if you have AC, and it's still, you're going to suffer upstairs. It just doesn't work that well. And so I'm always amazed they don't that's not like a standard thing, no matter where you live, that you get the extra. If you have an upstairs, there's an AC unit for the upstairs.
No, I mean, it really depends on the square footage of the house. Like,
well, that's true too.
The house that we had, that we sold when we first moved up here, was 2 floors, but it didn't need a separate unit. I mean, it wasn't a small house. It was like 2,400 square feet, but it didn't need a separate one. But what it needed was a bigger unit. Like, like Ryland Home, they basically cheaped out and were like, well, what's the smallest size that'll get this job done?
Exactly. And it doesn't, it's not effective enough to heat the cool house. And that may be our problem too. Our AC unit, we still have the original one from the house, and this was built in 2001. So the guy came out and checked it, and he was like, you are lucky this thing is still running. You're way past the lifespan of one of these things.
Oh my God. So it's so funny. Our AC unit in the house, so the house we live in now was built in 1968, but the AC was replaced the last time in 2000, right?
Yeah. So
every time, because we have this service agreement with our AC company.
Right.
So every time they came out, the guy, different guy, obviously, they come out twice a year.
Right. I got the same deal.
Part of the plan. And they would come out, and the guy would say, just to let you know, units last about 7-10 years max. First it was you're on 18, you're on 19, you're on 20. It's going to go. And literally, we've had everything done to the unit possible to extend the life.
Right.
So this last time in the spring, the guy was like, we've done everything we can to extend the life. I just want to let you know, if anything happens over the summer, you will be waiting to get it. So, we just kind of talked it over, and we got an estimate. We said, screw it. It's going on 21 years old. Let's just do it. So we got it replaced. Dude, we had the same issue. We were like, it didn't feel like like Courtney's bedroom, which is upstairs because it's a split level house. So our bedrooms are upstairs. And my daughter's bedroom, we had to put a separate AC unit in it because it just wasn't cooling,
Right.
And they were like, well, it could be because how the ducts are run in the house, blah, 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 which, you're not replacing that. So you got to tear down walls.
Right.
So, and then our bedroom too would get hot, but luckily we had ceiling fans, whatever. So we got the new AC put in. Dude, it is literally cold when it's we have the thermostat set at 74 and it is cold.
So you're saying the new unit you replaced it with is doing a fine job of cooling the entire house now?
Yep.
Well,
so you never know. If you had a new AC, and I'm not trying to tell you to buy one because we both know they're not cheap.
No,
but if you got a new AC, you never know. That room you're in right now could be perfect.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. We could maybe even get a bigger unit, But yeah, I know it's running on fumes. So I wanted to get through this summer, which looks like we're going to, because we only have like a month and a half left, really, before August gets pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
We'll survive, and then I can sort of kind of plan, maybe get it done in the wintertime when it's not, people aren't so backed up, and get a better deal or something. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. Well, that's what we did last year. Last summer, the guy gave us the same spiel when he came out in the winter or in the fall, because they come out spring and fall. So the guy came out in the fall last year and was like, it's going on 21 years old, blah, blah, blah. But the heat part of it is fine. And we were like, all right, we're just going to get through the winter and then we'll deal with it in the spring. And that's basically what we ended up doing.
Yep. So, well, that's what we're doing, because I don't think we can manage. I mean, it was just so bad this year. We had that string of 100-degree temperature. It's like, okay, we're not doing this again next year. So we'll get a new one. But man, like you say, they're so stinking expensive. It's like you just figure out any way you can to avoid doing it for as long as you can.
So it's funny. The dude comes here, right? The company we use, they're just in North Carolina, so saying the name won't make a difference. They're called Morris Jenkins, but. So the dude comes out here and he's like, to give us the estimate, because it's, the service tech is like, I don't do estimates. We send somebody else, blah, blah, blah. So they send the guy out and he gives us 3 quotes. Basically top of the line, middle of the line, and then, basic, bottom, whatever,
Right.
And I said, all right, let my wife and I talk about it. So we went into a different room so he couldn't hear us. And I said, look, I'm going to go in there and tell the guy, because of course they throw down financing and all that stuff.
Right, right.
And I said, I'm going to go in there and tell the guy, look, if we pay you straight out for it, we want the top of the line for the middle of the line price. And she's like, okay. She goes, I'd really like the top of the line, but do you think he'll do it? And I said, well, there's only one way to find out.
Right.
So I went in and I said, all right, we'd like to do the top of the line. The guy goes, great. I said, and he starts getting his pen out. I go, hold on now. I said, but we want it for the middle of the line price. And he looks at me and I go, if you do that, no financing, we'll just take care of it. And he was like, all right, I can do that. So
I'll remember that. The Andy Smith negotiation technique.
Dude, everything's negotiable. Furniture, that. Furniture, everything.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to run because I got to go pick my kid up here in a couple minutes. So.
No, this is perfect. I basically got this done to a point where I just have to do pen work, but I can do that at my desk. So there
you go. Well, let's take a look at. I'm going to give you the screen here to show off your Wonder Power Girl. Oh, you're pixelating.
Hold on, let me tilt it better there.
Oh, hang on. It's coming together. There we go. There we go.
There it is.
And then here's my Thor frog, or Throg as they call them.
Nice.
Get that little line work there to make them feel like they're getting their money's worth.
Did you catch the Thor frog in Loki?
I caught the alligator. Was there a Thor frog?
No, there's a frog.
Oh, I missed
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna have to go
Yeah,
back
you
and
must have missed it. It was awesome. Well, okay, well, here, real quick before you go, remember the scene? I can't remember the episode, but the Loki and the other Lokis are on that other world because he got zapped out,
right.
and they go to the underground bunker or whatever.
Yeah.
And you remember the here, I'll flip my camera real quick. There we go.
Oops.
So
hang on a second. There we go. Okay.
yeah, so it was the scene where the camera pans down through the ground and stuff, so you see the ground and stuff in the ground.
Mhm.
There's a little Thor frog.
Oh, really? Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
I was like, no way, that's Thor frog. Of course, Courtney's like, what? And I'm like, shut up. Learn your history, girl.
Oh my goodness, I'll have to go back and check that out. I missed that, so that's
Yeah,
cool.
dude. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Andy, thanks for dropping in, man. It made it go by smooth and fast. Nice to have somebody to chat to once in a while.
Man, anytime. If I ever go live and you want to drop in for a little drawing, you're more than welcome to.
I will do it. So everybody remember, Andy's got the Indiegogo campaign getting ready to launch at any time now. So go check out his pre-page at pre-launch page for First Man. And I, of course, have Wraith of God, which is the link for that is actually in the YouTube description there, and on my Facebook, and on my Twitter, and on my Instagram. So you can find it. Go check it out and sign up. I'd be very grateful if you would to get those numbers up. And also like and subscribe to this channel so we can get up to 1,000. We're so close. Let's get across the finish line so we can have a big party for 1,000 subscribers. Andy, of course, has his own YouTube channel. You want to check that out and like and subscribe to his stuff as well. Very entertaining live stream that he does. So in the mornings usually, right?
Yep, mornings with Andy. Yep.
There you go. There it is. So everybody, hey, thanks for joining us. It was a great time as always, and I'll be back probably sooner than any of you would like. And we'll do this again real soon. So everybody take care.